Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today, if you can tell, we're in a different area. This is my main storage area. I do have a new section that I've started on the other side of this building, but we're going to be doing an inventory. We've actually started today. Now, I did an partial inventory last year. I ended up, scooch back a bit. I ended up doing this whole row here, the whole back wall, and then I was starting to move up these walls, and then I just kind of burnt out. So this time, Robert's helping me because we're changing our number system.
We're adding to the number system.
We're adding to our number system to hopefully help in future for future inventories, because I would prefer for Robert to print me out an Excel spreadsheet and everything in a basket. You know, it would just say, okay, you know, this is what's in that basket. If you've not watched my first video, every basket here is numbered. The shelf is like, this is shelf 9. We're starting on 9 because I didn't get to this last year. And I've already had one thing that was supposed to be in one basket, ended up being in another basket. So I thought, let's just start here. But like, this is whole shelf is 9. And then that is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then each basket, A, B, C, A, B. So that's how my numbering system goes. So we're getting ready to start this basket. So it is 09, second row 2B. And that's how, and then actually everything on this shelf is baby. We're adding a sequential number system to this so that the next time I go to do an inventory, I'll be able to just see I've got numbers 1, 6, 8, 10, because all the other things have been sold. Right now, the way it's been for me to do an inventory, I actually need to have my laptop out here because I need to be able to see quickly that, like, this is like a Gons white bear. I would need to see a picture to make it make sense to me. Otherwise, I'd be like every white bear in here. I'd have to be figuring out what it is. So what we're doing now is we're going to add a number to every single item in here. And then next year, I'll have him print out, you know, everything that should be in 09 2B. And then I'll just have the numbers in my custom SKU. So we've already done this basket. So as Robert was pulling everything out of the basket, I have my laptop sitting over there. I have everything that should have been in this basket pulled up, and I'm adding these numbers to each of my listings. We're taking it actually a step further. Last month, I started putting the date of the listing, like 2301, January 2023. That way, you know, in 6 months, I can see, well, what hasn't sold? Do I need to start marking stuff down? But this was the most important part for me, is to get everything numbered. And then from now on, when I come out here to inventory, I can just, instead of trying to find all the white, well, actually, let me show you.
She could send me out here to do the inventory because I could do it by number instead of having to identify which of the 7 blue bears in this basket is the one I'm looking at.
Right. There's a Gons, there's a Garanimal, there's a Gund. All of them are blue bears. So it just makes it harder. And this way, now we just take all of that factor out. We're just going to be looking for item number 22.
It also opens up, if we ever decide to hire an employee, that the employee just has to go by number. They will probably know less than I do even. So we could hire someone that essentially doesn't know anything. They just have to go to this basket, look for this number, and pull it out and stick it in a box and ship it.
And it's also going to help even now when I come out here to pull something. I'm familiar, probably more than most people, with what plush I'm looking for. But now if this item sells, I'm not digging through here trying to find the tag to make sure I'm pulling the right one. I'll automatically know that I need to find this number to pull.
And 95% of the time, the tag is backwards like that, and you can't. It's got all the technical details of what's in it, not the brand and the name of the bear or whatever. So then you have to fiddle with your fingers through the bag trying to get the tag to flip over. This will make it easy.
Very easy.
We should have done this 10 years ago.
Yeah. When I moved here and I only had 1,000 items.
This would have been easy.
Yes.
And the way we're doing this, with the numbering, the tags, we have an old Dymo label printer that we used when we sold on Amazon, and we have a bunch of labels left. And it has a feature that you can print an incremental label. We just tell it to start with 1, and then it just starts printing. It prints out 99 at a time. And then we tell it to start with number 101, and then it prints out
99.
And it just keeps track of it for you, and we're just slapping them on there.
So everything, because I knew I had 10,000, almost 10,000 listings when I started last month, my new listings that I've been doing since then are starting with 10,000. So, you know, I'm at like 10,400 and something since the beginning of January. And, you know, that way we know from now on, you know, where everything is, what their number is. But this is tedious. That's why I so encourage people who are just starting, get your inventory figured out. How are you going to keep track of everything? You know, there's a lot of people who do just everything they list goes in one basket, and then they bring that basket out here. I have always used this as a backup. If I can't find something, I'm more than likely it's going to be found if it's baby in this section. You know, then I've got dogs and cats. Then I've got hard stuff. And then I've got, you know, character toys. The larger I got, the more things kind of sort of got back spread out. But this is going to make things so much easier, especially for an inventory. Especially because I want to get to the point where after we finish this, starting next year, I'll do, you know, a couple of baskets at a time. When I'm coming out here to put stuff away, I'll just go ahead and do a quick inventory and keep up with stuff that way. This is also important because, I mean, we've already found one thing that was in the wrong basket. So I went ahead and ended it, and then we found it in the next basket. But it's going to help me make sure eBay hasn't dropped my listings or it hasn't ended up in the wrong basket. So I really encourage you guys to get your inventory systems figured out. You know, come up with your own way you're going to do it, and then get it done before you get to 10,000 listings. And this is going to take us months. We've spent how long?
I don't know. An hour out here, maybe. Maybe
an hour, and we did the 3 baskets up there. But we were trying to figure some stuff out, making sure, like, I hadn't even thought about putting anything that hasn't been listed since January. I'm throwing a December date at the beginning of my listing. And that way, in 3 months or 6 months, I can pull up everything that hasn't sold and start maybe marking things down. Because I didn't have because I do end and sell similar, I didn't have a way of keeping up with the oldest inventory.
So, your oldest inventory was always last month.
Yes, right. So now we'll have dates on it. So, you know, this time next year, I'll have my really old stuff, which will be December 2022. But then I can start really paying attention. Okay, everything that was listed 3 months ago, let's do a 15% sell or a 20% sell, or, you know, something like
maybe
that.
Just permanently reduce the prices by 10% on everything that's more than 2 years old or something.
Yeah, to start taking things down, you know, a percentage or a dollar value.
And we're putting that, the 2212 for 2022 December at the very beginning of the custom SKU, so that in eBay you can sort by the custom SKU, and then all of those things will appear in essentially date order.
Mm-hmm. All right, I wanted to show you guys the screens that we're using to do our inventory, and Robert's going to talk me through opening up the Excel spreadsheet. So I'll show you guys how to do it also, because I don't know how to do it, and I don't know how to sort and all of that stuff. So we're going to do this really slowly so that you know, you can try to do this yourself for any inventory that you want to do. But let's start with the eBay side of this first. All right, so you need to go to listings and then active. All right, and then this is what my custom SKU, these are the things that I listed this morning, and this is how my custom SKU is going to look from now on. It's going to have the date, which this just means this was one of the items we couldn't find and then we found. So I relisted it. 2212. That is going to be our date marker. Like this next one down, I listed it this morning, so it was 2302 for February. Then it's going to have a sequential number. Everything we're doing out there right now, out in the building, is starting with 0. But everything that I've been listing since January is starting with 10,000. And then this bottom number is the basket. So like we were showing you guys the 09s this morning, this one is in the newer stuff out in the building, which you guys didn't see that yet. So it's on shelf 74, third row B basket. And so, but that's all of this new stuff. Now, if you want to sort by your own custom SKU, you've got to be, you know, some people might only be doing, you know, bedroom closet or whatever. Make sure you're trying to use the same exact terms if you're using words like that. Whatever your system that you're going to do. But you need to come back up here, and where it says item title, you need to change that to custom SKU. Is equal to, I always change to contains. And then I pick a basket. So one of the ones we haven't done yet, I'll just go ahead and pick 093B and search. Now it's going to pull up everything in that basket. So I have 29 items in that basket. And as you can see, most of mine are just the basket number unless it's been listed since January. Now when you see this P and M and MP, ignore the F's. F's for Facebook for Once Upon a Time. All of those are the other platforms that I listed something in. So this item is also listed, this first item, Garanimals, My First Doll. It's also listed on Poshmark. If it sells on Poshmark, I come into eBay, I delete it. I end it. That's the word. I end that listing. But if it sells on eBay, then I need to go into Poshmark and delete the listing there. So I do that for all of the platforms that I list on. I just haven't gone in, and it's not worth my time to remove all the Facebook codes that I was using once upon a time, but I have nothing on Facebook. So that's how you're going to do this once you get an inventory system put into place. As you can see, this basket has all of my first dolls. See, so it's pretty much, that's what you're going to see in here with a few exceptions. Like this Russ Mocha dog, I don't think that should be in there. So that's the wrong code. This is why I've got to do an inventory. It would be probably in one of the other baskets right next to it, but for some reason I mess up sometimes, and that's why I like to keep my spreadsheet, because usually my spreadsheet's accurate. It's the process of when I'm listing it, I've put in the wrong number.
That might be 063B or maybe 094B or something like that. Yeah, are you going to somewhere else?
Yes, I'm going to show you guys how to get to reports.
So click on up at the top, reports.
Reports.
Downloads.
Downloads. And this is if anybody who's wanting to print just their inventory in general.
This only happens if you have a store. If you don't have a store, you have to opt into using the Seller Hub, and you have to find a link that takes you. I found one accidentally on I have an old eBay account myself that I'd never used Seller Hub on, and when I tried to do a different method of downloading, it prompted me, hey, do you want to use Seller Hub? And then I had Seller Hub on that old account of mine that we don't have anything listed on. And I will try to remember to include a link in the video description that if you do not have Seller Hub, that should take you to a page that eBay will prompt you to opt into it.
All right, get started. All right, these are just ones that he's been downloading for different reasons.
download report button.
Download report.
Then select report source. Listings.
Listings.
Select report type. All active. And those are the columns that are going to show up.
And you can remove them once you get in there. All right, it's creating a report. Where am I going to put
We're
this?
just going to cancel this because we have one downloaded. But at this point, you would save that file to your local hard drive.
Where you want it and where you're going to remember to get it, because I'm the world's worst for saying, oh yes, save right here, and then I don't remember where I put it.
Some random place.
Some random, and I have to do it again. All right, and then you're going to have where this says listings, all active listings.
If you lose it, like Rebel would do, you could come back here and download it again.
Do it again. All right, this is what your spreadsheet kind of sort of is going to look like. We've made it bigger so that you guys can see it, and a lot of the columns are going to be scrunched. So you're going to need to adjust the size so you can see it. It does include the item number. It's a wanky number. I don't really need it. The things that we're going to focus on are the title, my custom SKU, and then the available quantity.
That item number is actually a real number. It's just format's weird in Excel.
Yes. You would have to adjust the type of formatting in order for it to show you the real number. So if you needed to know it, you could get it there.
We'll just do it real quick. Click on A, change this general up here to number, and then you could just do this to get rid of the decimal points, and then there you go.
So there you go. That is all the numbers.
Then we'll scrunch it down so we can make sure we see everything we need to see on here.
Yes. So what we're going to do then is make sure you're in one of the cells, and you're going to go up here and click on, let's see.
Data to the right.
Okay, yeah. Click on data.
Can you tell she doesn't do this very often?
I don't do this ever. Okay? But I'm learning too, because Robert's not always going to be available to help me.
Are you planning something?
But you know, you're off doing martial arts and all of that stuff.
I thought I needed to check any new life insurance policies or anything.
And then you're going to click on filter. Then this little teeny tiny arrow down, you need to click on it. Well, first of all, I'm going to be here in custom SKU. That's the one I want to sort by. And I'm going to click on, filter by. I get those two mixed up. And then I'm going to pick like 093B because I showed you that one on the eBay side of it. And then it's going to pull up all of my listings that are in 095B. And I can compare the quantity here by just scrolling all the way down to the bottom. I have that one that's 2, a quantity of 2, and then the sum right here is 30. So that would be a way for me to compare it to eBay also to see if eBay's saying I have 30 items. They'll probably say 29 because one of the items is a single with a multiple quantity.
And we're doing this in Excel because in the past, the eBay search in the custom SKU has not been reliable. Right now, it seems to be very reliable, but we're doing this just so we know this inventory is 100% correct. And we won't even need to use the eBay next time because once we get this inventory done, we'll only need this spreadsheet because we can compare by the new item number we're adding to everything.
Right, the new inventory number. So next time, all of these will have this like on this Carter's 10224. There'll be all their different numbers, and all I'll have to do is, maybe put everything in order and then just throw them back in the basket as I find them. But the other thing though that we're doing is, let's see, how do I go back? Oh, let me go up here and sort it by a basket that we've already done. So I know we did 092B. Click OK. We're highlighting all of this in green as we're finishing each basket. So at some point, I can go back to the whole spreadsheet and see if I forgot something.
Anything not highlighted in green will have been not inventoried for some reason.
Right, and that'll just be a reminder to me to go look. Maybe I skipped a shelf, not paying attention or anything like that.
You can highlight them you can pick individual cells to highlight and then be on the home item and click on cell styles and set it to whatever color fits your desires. Those words don't mean anything. Or you can highlight a whole row by picking the row header and changing it to something else.
I hope this is informative for you guys.
And you didn't even rat me out for taking the very first item and dropping it.
First item he took out of the basket and went to drop it, because what we're doing is as he numbers it, he's dropping it in a second basket over here so that we don't have... He broke the first plush because it was a musical wind-up, and he dropped it and snapped the top off.
Didn't realize it was a wind-up.
First thing, you should have seen his face. He felt really, really badly because I hadn't walked out here yet. He was just getting started. Oh, I went to get a mouse. I cannot do laptop. What are those called?
Touchpad.
Touchpad. Can't do it. So I went to get a mouse, and he had already broke the first thing.
I just know how uncomfortable the couch is. And
so, yeah, we've got our work cut out for
we'll be done
us.
in a couple hours.
Right. Right. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get the stuff that I know I didn't get to last year first. And then I'll redo, then I'll start numbering the things that should be a whole lot more quick. I think quick.
It'd be less likely to be wrong too.
Right.
Because was done last year. Whereas some of this stuff was done 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes. But I'm determined to get it done this year as I have time. So, all right, y'all. I got to get to work. Bye.